From athletes to authors, innovators to icons, we connect with those who help shape the South's culture, revealing the stories of their lives, their journeys, their triumphs and tragedies, what molded them into who they are today. Broadcasting across the Southeast, telling the South stories. This is where their stories live. Authentically off-script and personally illuminating. This is Audibles with Jason Scarborough.
This week on Audibles, Rockey Felker.
So Jackson, Tennessee is where your story begins. How would you describe growing up there in Tennessee?
I had a great place to grow up. Actually, it was Brownsville, Tennessee, about 30 miles away from Jackson, and grew up in a coaching home. Haywood High School in Brownsville had great high school football, and so I grew up wanting to be a really good quarterback. I didn't think I was ever going to be good enough to play college, but my dad was a coach, and so I was on the sideline growing up all the time and throwing the ball. And he told me if I got up to 150 pounds, he'll let me go out for football. I think that was in the 8th grade, I think. And so I became the starting quarterback my sophomore year. Won 29 games in a row. During that stretch, number one in the state of Tennessee. And recruited, I knew where I wanted to go to college. Dad was a big Mississippi State fan. I knew where I wanted to go to college, but it was, I was recruited by some people. I wasn't a 5-star by any means, but my mind was pretty much made up. I wanted to be a Bulldog. This is where I dreamed of playing. I thought I could come to Mississippi State and help turn the program around, because it was the 60s, the decade was a tough stretch for Mississippi State. And so it was kind of a dream come true to come here and try to do that.
You said your dad was a Mississippi State fan, being there in Tennessee. So how did he arrive at being a Mississippi State fan?
Dad played football at Union University in Jackson. Okay. I think Coach Bryant used to coach there at one time, if you look at Bear Bryant's resume. But Dad grew up in Corinth, Mississippi, and so he was a Mississippi State fan, either a State or Ole Miss fan if you grew up in Corinth. And so I grew up listening to Jack Crystal, coming to Mississippi State games, and just grew up rooting for Mississippi State, obviously because my dad was a big part of that. Kind of interesting, I was recruited, and I was recruited by Ole Miss also. And my senior year, I was on the sideline of the Egg Bowl in 1970. Some guy named Archie was playing for Ole Miss, and Archie had broken his arm, I believe, and Mississippi State ended up winning the game, and it was kind of a tough position for me to be in, being a Mississippi State fan, being recruited by Ole Miss, being on Ole Miss's sideline. I had to just kind of, not get too excited about anything that happened during the ball game.
You said your dad was a coach, so I'm assuming that sports became important to you very, very early in life. Do you remember how old you were when sports really started becoming important to you?
Probably in the, I think just growing up, I would play catch with Dad all the time in the front yard, even as a 6 or 7 year old, and then we moved to Brownsville when I was in the 1st grade in 1960. That was my mother's home, and. So it was really special to follow the Haywood High team, follow the high school team, keep up with them, be on the sideline, go to practice. We would go to college games, whether it be in Memphis or Starkville or Oxford. I remember going to Knoxville one time, and even though I was in Tennessee, I wasn't a Tennessee fan. Knoxville was a long way away, and. But I remember seeing Stabler and Tennessee play. I think it was 1966 in Neyland Stadium. Really in a great shootout, and Alabama won the game. So So it was a great place to grow up in Brownsville, and you know, really special. On Friday nights, everybody went to the high school game. It was the thing to do. It was something to be proud of.
Haywood High School, you mentioned going to school there. Home of the Tomcats. Were they the Tomcats back
Haywood
then?
High Tomcats in Brownsville, Tennessee.
So how would you describe your high school years there at Haywood High School?
Well, Dad was a coach. Mom was a teacher in the school. So, you know, I couldn't. I had to be careful what I did. I made good choices, and I was pretty focused on. I was pretty focused on growing up, being the best person I could be, being a role model, make good choices in my life. Those was just things. My granddad and grandmother had a big influence on me also, my mother's parents. And, you know, it was a town that everybody knew everybody. So, you know, that was, you know, word got around if there was anything going on that you were trying to be careful with.
So do you have a favorite memory from your days of playing high school football? Like everybody does. Do you have a favorite memory you can share with us?
I think just the memory of being on a team that undefeated, you know, put together 29 games in a row was when you're a part of that and you have a streak going like that, week after week after week. Mm-hmm. My sophomore year, I don't know how many games we had. We added to that in my freshman year, but I didn't play much as a freshman. But my sophomore year, we were undefeated. My junior year, we were undefeated. We were #1 in the state. And so that senior year, it was a lot of pressure to keep that winning streak, 23, 24, 25, week after week after week. And we ended up losing one game that year to, I believe it was to MBA, I believe was the name of a school out of Nashville. And so that was a disappointment. But in a way, though, when you have a streak like that, it was you know, at some point it's going to come to the end. But I think to be a part of that, be a part of a successful team and a program like that was something I remember.
Was your dad the coach during that 29-game winning streak?
John Hooper was the head coach. Dad was assistant coach, and had been an assistant coach, and later became a head coach. But he was assistant coach all during my high school years. And where Coach Hooper was real tough. I didn't want to go home with Coach Hooper. You know, I don't think he would have been the great father figure that I would have wanted to go home to. But yet he was a great coach and demanding, and he was good for me to play under, and all of us, because he was a great coach.
Did you and your dad ever talk at breakfast about the winning streak, or just never talked about it?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, we talked a lot about football when we came home. Dad and I did. And I grew up wanting to be a coach. I grew up really enjoying the strategy a part of football, just getting a piece of paper and drawing plays and blocking schemes and pass routes, and that was I thought that was fun. I mean, to think of being able to go into coaching and that be what I do, that'd be my job. I mean, I thought that was kind of neat. And so that stayed with me all during high school. That stayed with me in college. With you know, when I was sitting in an accounting class, I wasn't thinking about accounting. I was thinking about the game we were getting ready to play that Saturday, and how this play would work against what we were going to see and so forth. So that was my mindset. That was what went through my head day after day.
spoken like every football player before and after you, right? Not thinking about accounting in accounting class, they're thinking about Saturday.
Right.
So you mentioned you always wanted to go to Mississippi State. You knew that's where you, so there was never a thought coming out of high school that you were going to play somewhere else. You knew, I'm going to Mississippi State.
Well, I went through the process and I visited schools, and I think when it came time to make a decision, though, it was really not much of a decision. I don't know how much those other schools really wanted me, to be honest with you. They, for example, Tennessee was recruiting Conrad Holloway at the time. Alabama had Richard Todd and some great quarterbacks. Robert Fraley was a quarterback that went to Alabama. Ole Miss had Archie, and Norris Weiss was coming up. So it was. I was recruited by them, but yet Mississippi State really wanted me, and even though Melvin Barkham was the 5-star that Mississippi State ended up getting, we came here the same year. It was still Mississippi State was, when it came time to make a decision, it was pretty cut and dry.
Don't go anywhere. Audibles returns in a moment here on the Spirit Media Network.
From our view on this farm, food security is national security. Our nation must have a sustainable food source. Keeping the supply chain moving and food on our grocery store shelves by growing the cleanest food in the world.
We're only one of thousands, but we are united as one to grow the food, fiber, and shelter you need every day because Mississippi needs us. Mississippi needs farmers, the farm families of Mississippi.
At Atmos Energy, we believe affordable, reliable, and efficient natural gas is essential to achieving a low-carbon energy future. We're committed to helping protect the environment by providing smart choice solutions to help customers reduce energy use and lower their carbon footprint. Get a rebate up to $600 off qualifying high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
I stand alone with fire inside, with passion burning in my veins.
Family owned and operated since 1986, Lakeside Molding has become the trusted source of architectural products throughout the South. They offer fine interior architectural moldings, custom millwork, and cabinet doors designed and handcrafted in Flowwood. Their showroom on Lakeland Drive is stocked with today's most sought-after interior details, including corbels, post, fireplace mantles, bath vanities, mirrors, and much more. Tim Shoemaker and his staff work closely to meet client needs for new construction, restoration, and remodeling projects. Lakeside Molding, where details make the difference.
Mississippi State from 1972 to 74 for two different coaches, Coach Shira and Coach Tyler. Coaches change jobs more frequently today than maybe they did when you played. So what was the experience like for you to have to play for two different coaches during your time at Mississippi State? Did it make it difficult on you, or what was that like?
I think players adjust to coaches changing. I don't think it's that big of. I've been a part of that over quite a bit. So I think players, you hate to see a coach leave that you're close to, but also you move on and realize that's part of the process. And Coach Shire was really a good man. He did a lot for Mississippi State University. He helped build the program, and I think. But I think it was time for a change. Pretty much, it was something I went through as a head coach also. That there's a lot of pressure on being a head football coach. Nowadays, of course, they're not as patient as they were back then. But Coach Shire helped build the program, and then it took a change for Coach Tyler to come in and help move it on to the next level. And so that was, as a player, you just make the adjustment, and you move on because you really don't have any other choice. You can't transfer. You couldn't transfer back then like you can now.
There was no transfer portal.
There was no transfer portal.
No portal back then. You were
Right.
kind of stuck where you were.
Right.
So you're coming to a team that at that time, they hadn't been to a bowl game in almost a decade at that point, and only had, I think, 2 winning seasons
Right.
in the previous 15 years. So you had your work cut out for you coming to Mississippi State during that time. So was that an added motivating factor for you to say, hey, I'm gonna go there and try to turn this thing around?
Yeah, I was. I thought I could come to Mississippi State and help make a difference, and I certainly didn't do it by myself. I think there were a lot of teammates and coaches all worked together, and Coach Tyler, when he became the head football coach, he was a motivator. That was probably his strength, was being a motivator. He had been at Ole Miss under Coach Vaught. He had been at Alabama under Coach Bryant. And this was his first head coaching college opportunity. So, he was a motivator. He was, he really made us believe that we could win. He worked us hard. And the program got better and better and better. 1973 was his first, my junior year, was his first year as head football coach. And we started off the year, I believe we were like 4-1 after the first 5 games. And I was having, this was my junior year, so you're running out of time. If you hadn't started playing by your junior year and having success, before you know it, it's going to be time to move on. And we were in Tallahassee in 1973, and we were way ahead in the game, and we were winning, had a lot of confidence built up, and late in the game, I hit a helmet with my thumb, and I broke that thumb, and we didn't win another game the rest of the year. That was our 4th or 5th game, and we ended up, I think, going 4-5-1 or 4-5-2, something like that. So up to that, up to my senior year, there hadn't been a lot of success. And Coach Tyler made the decision going into that 1974 season to go to the split back veer offense, which was a new triple option offense that we haven't run. Other teams were running it, but we hadn't done it before. And that seemed to be perfect for me, perfect for our team. And it really started a year that, was a dream come true to go to win 9 games that season in 1974. We hadn't won 9 games in 2 or 3 decades. To go to a bowl game, which we hadn't been since in about 10 years. Not just to have a winning season, a 6-5 year, but a 9-3 season. To win the Egg Bowl, which we hadn't beaten Ole Miss since that 1970 game. But then there was a long stretch before that during the 60s, we didn't win very, very often. So the 74 season was a special year. It really gave Mississippi State, I think, the confidence that we could be successful in the SEC. That we didn't have to be, that we could compete against the top teams in the league. And I think that led to, of course, integration was beginning. We had our first African American player in 1972. I think that was a big part of the success in the 70s that Mississippi State had, winning 9 games in that 74 season, winning 9 games in the 1976 season. Coach Bullard had a really good run with the 80 team and the 81 team. So it was a stretch in Mississippi State football that was some of the best football that we played in our history at Mississippi State was starting with that '74 team and carrying on for the for a good stretch.
Hearing you talk about that season, I can sense the pride that you take personally in that season. And going back to the question a few minutes ago, just coming to Mississippi State, hoping you can turn it around, leaving after the 1974 season when you graduated from Mississippi State, you had to have a sense of pride, like, hey, I helped try to get this ship turned in the right direction. Did you leave Mississippi State kind of feeling like that sense of accomplishment?
Oh, yeah, I think all of us did. I think it's something even today that teammates take a lot of pride in, that we were a part of a during our career, we have make a difference in Mississippi State football, and that's something to be proud of. I had no 1974 was a special year for me. I had no ambition or never thought that I would ever be considered for the SEC Most Valuable Player Award, and to receive that, which has been won by some great players over the history of the Southeastern Conference. It's really a dream come true for me. It's something that I'm very proud of, and certainly teammates and coaches, and we all can share in that because it's a team effort, and I just fortunate I was the quarterback and was honored with that.
Well, speaking of being proud, I'm going to read this to you. Your career marks in Mississippi State still rank as some of the best, most in the top 10 categories, including passing yardage, pass completions, yards per attempt, passing efficiency, touchdown passes, and total offense. For the kid, the former Haywood Tomcat, you look back at those days playing ball in Haywood, and now you hear that, winning most valuable player in the SEC, all the accomplishments and all the rankings all time at Mississippi State.
Right.
When you hear those accomplishments now as we sit here, in front of the field that you played, right, what comes to your mind?
Oh, it's something to be proud of, but yeah, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, it's a small town kid in West Tennessee. Just believed in coming. I really didn't have. I had goals, but yet all I wanted to do is come and work hard, and I believed in myself, and just kept grinding and kept working. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Is what I think about it. It's out there for anybody. You just have to have you got to have great work ethic, and you got to have the ball bouncing your way a lot. I think about injuries I had. I tore my knee up my freshman year. I broke my leg my junior year and broke my thumb my junior year. So, you have a lot of ups and downs in football and in life, and you just gotta keep on keeping on, like Coach Tyler would say. That was a phrase that he used. He had two phrases he used. One of them was, "Let's win something today." Mm-hmm. And that meant that every day you wake up, you try to win something, whether it be class or in your life, be a winner. And then the other one was keep on keeping on. And when you get knocked down in football and in life, you got to keep on keeping on. You got to get up. You can't lay on the ground, because life shows us that we're gonna have ups and downs. The ball's not going to always bounce our way. So that's what I've learned in football. I think it's helped me, the coaching career. I think by playing football, it helps you prepare for what happens after you leave.
You did go into coaching after leaving Mississippi State, spent some time on staff here right after graduating Mississippi State. Because of your dad and because of growing up in a household with a coach, was that a natural progression for you to go into coaching?
I think so. I think it was, you know, I would say I wasted a business degree here at Mississippi State. You know, I should have been an education major. Dad didn't want me to be an education major. He wanted me to get a business and get into something other than coaching. But I respected the coaches so much that influenced me that I thought that's what I wanted to be like them. My high school coaches, my college coaches, I wanted to be like them, and I didn't want to have to go to work for a living. And I thought coaching would be that, even though. And I really felt that way all these 25 years of coaching. I felt like, you know, every day I got up and went to work. I wasn't going to work. I was going to coach. I didn't have to coach. It wasn't like I got a job that I got to go do. You know, I get to go be a coach, and that was kind of how I looked at it for 25 years.
Don't go anywhere. Audibles returns in a moment here on the Spirit Media Network.
From the seed and the soil grows row after row. We take care of this land using just the right amount of our natural resources and never more than we need.
We are only one of thousands, but we are united as one to grow the food, fiber, and shelter you need every day. Because Mississippi needs us. Mississippi needs farmers, the farm families of Mississippi.
At Atmos Energy, we believe affordable, reliable, and efficient natural gas is essential to achieving a low-carbon energy future. We're committed to helping protect the environment by providing smart choice solutions to help customers reduce energy use and lower their carbon footprint. Get a rebate up to $600 off qualifying high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Want to take college classes? It's not too late to register at Holmes CC. We have classes that start throughout the semester. You can sign up online or swing by one of our campuses anytime. Holmes Community College, where you could come tuition-free with a 20 on your ACT. Enroll today at holmescc.edu.
Looking for your next unforgettable experience? Come explore Cypress Point, Mississippi's premier event venue, offering breathtaking spaces for weddings, gatherings, and special moments. Get wild on our one-of-a-kind safari tours, where adventure is just a ride away. Then kick back at the tavern, where great food, cold drinks, and good times are always on the menu. And don't miss the live music every week at Cameron's Garage, the new hotspot for the best local tunes and late-night fun. Experience it all at Cypress Point, where memories are made and adventure is just the beginning.
So you spend 3 seasons here at your alma mater as an assistant coach, then you make stops as an assistant at Texas Tech, Memphis. It was Memphis State back then. I remember those days. Right. Memphis State and Alabama. How would you describe those experiences of being an assistant at 3 very, very different programs?
I was a young coach just trying to figure it out, just like any coach would be. I had a good opportunity to go right into coaching here. I was drafted by the Bengals, but I wanted to be a coach. I didn't want to be a pro football player. So I went into, I had an opportunity to go into coaching, so I thought I ought to do it. I might have been making $10,000 a year. A little bit less than what they pay them nowadays. But the opportunity to go into coaching here, go get my first job at Texas Tech, you know, get away from Starkville, go to Texas Tech, go to Memphis from Texas Tech, and then I think Alabama was probably the really good break that I got in coaching. Obviously, Ray Perkins was becoming the head football coach there, and he was looking for staff, and he gave me an opportunity that I'm real thankful for. And really all the coaches, Coach Tyler, Rex Dockery was at Texas Tech, then he went to Memphis. You know, I was a young guy, had had a good playing career, but never coached before. And they took a chance on me, and I'm very thankful for that. And then the opportunity to come here as head football coach was again a dream come true, just like it was as a player. We make choices in life. Sometimes the timing is not as good as it needs to be. And it was probably the worst time I could have come to Mississippi State and been the head football coach. The talent level was down, and it was going to be a major rebuilding program. And I was a young coach. Mississippi State in those days, just like anybody in the SEC, nowadays where they get $50 million a year from the Southeastern Conference, we got $1 million total. So it was a different time, and so it was hard. It was hard competing in the SEC under those conditions, and I'm proud that I left it in better shape than I found it in. And Jackie Sherrill was he was the guy that took my place, and he was always very complimentary of the where the program was when he took it over, because I left him a good squad, and we had built it year by year and gotten better and better, and we were close. But as a coach, I was burned out. After 5 years of being a head football coach, I don't know that I could have come back another year. I think just the raising a family, 3 kids, just the pressure day after day after day of being a head football coach was had taken its toll. And I think it was kind of a break for me and my family to move on. And even though it was hard to do that, it wasn't something that I would have picked. But yet, in the long run, I think it was the best thing that could have happened to Mississippi State and also to me. And it was. I can remember driving out of Starkville in a Volvo station wagon with 3 kids in the back seat, headed to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I didn't wasn't what I wanted, but yet and I was leaving a place that I love. I was going to a strange place in Tulsa that I'd never been to before. Tulsa was not an SEC school. It was not my dream school. But yet it was what was next, and it was really a great time in my life that helped me to be the dad and be the father, and actually come back and show myself that, hey, you're a pretty good coach too. Because we had a really good year at Tulsa in 1991.
So what I'm hearing from you, leaving Mississippi State, a place that you love so much, and hearing you talk about being burnt out, what I'm hearing is the term we like to say in the South, blessing in disguise. Did you kind of view it that way? It was a blessing in disguise. You didn't view it that way at the time, but I'm sure later on. Did you ever view it that way?
Yeah, I think anytime you go through a tough time like that, I felt sorry for myself, and I wasn't sure what the future looked like, and but yet I think it was a blessing to Mississippi State. Mississippi State, it was best for me to leave. Jackie came in, and Jack, like I said, Jackie had left the program. He praised me many times for the program I left for him, and I think that that made me feel proud of the fact that we did leave it in a lot better shape than we found it in. And I'm disappointed we weren't able to win, but yet it took another guy to come in and Jackie and help turn the program around. He not only took over my players, he brought a few in also that was able to put it all together, and also gave me confidence as a coach. really the 1991 Tulsa team was an unbelievable season. We had some games. We ended up going 10-2. I was the offensive coordinator. And 2 games that really come to mind was probably 3 games, but the A&M game was one game. We beat Texas A&M that year in Tulsa. I think it was the only loss A&M had that season, and we beat them in Tulsa. Win 10 games that season. At halftime of that game, I was coming back from the press box. I was coming back from the locker room, headed to the press box, and I told the guy that was with me, I said, I hope we score at least once to make it look respectable, because we were losing. And all of a sudden, we scored the first play of the second half and win the game, 33-32 or something like that. And it just kind of was an unbelievable game, an unbelievable season. We ended up, we have a Hail Mary later on in the year. Last play of the game, we were on our own 30 in a snowstorm, and I told the head coach, I said, let's throw a Hail Marys. And there were 15 seconds left. We throw it, catch a 50-yard pass, and kick a winning field goal at the end of the game and win the game. So it was one of those seasons, and it did me a lot as a offensive coordinator to have success that at Mississippi State I had struggled with. Couldn't win those close games. To be able to have success, it just kind of, I think God gave me, it just kind of reassured me who I was, and also it helped me Tulsa helped me to be a dad and be a husband than I needed to be. I had more fun coaching Little League baseball than I did coaching college football. Coached my kids in Little League baseball. Got around them a lot more, had time to do that because as head coach at Mississippi State, I couldn't do that. And so it just really helped me to be a dad and a husband and realize, what's important. I think that was, it kind of reassured me as a person.
You spent some time at Arkansas as offensive coordinator. Then you came back to Tulsa for another stint, and then the opportunity came from Jackie Sherrill to come back to Starkville. Now, was there ever a thought to not return to Starkville at all and work in athletic administration here? Were you saying, hey, I'm going to stay put, or was it difficult to come back?
Well, it was something that when I left in 1991, I didn't want to ever come back to Mississippi. I took my retirement out of PERS retirement. I had no goal at all to ever come back to Mississippi State. And my wife didn't want to come back to Mississippi State. She was hurt, or she didn't like the way that I had been treated, which is normal for any wife. And so we spent about 10 years in Oklahoma and Arkansas, away from Mississippi, and raising kids, enjoying life. And Jackie, 2 other previous times he had approached me about coming back, and I just wouldn't even hardly talk to him about it. And so in 2002, he called me and said, Rocky, there's not going to be another time. This is take it or leave it. This is the last opportunity I'm going to give you to come back to Mississippi State. And probably one of the hardest conversations I ever had was I had to go tell my wife that, Susan, we're getting ready to move back to Mississippi.
How'd that go?
Well, she wasn't real crazy about it. It wasn't something that she had dreamed of. It wasn't something that she was real excited about. And there were a lot of reasons for that, but today, it turned out to be a really blessing. One of the best things I ever did was to come back to Mississippi. And it's kind of ironic to hear Jackie Sherrill, who took my place as the head football coach, who I wasn't real, I guess bitter might be the right word to say. I was bitter. Wasn't real excited about. I wasn't a big Jackie Sherrill fan at that point in 1991, but he was really good to me and gave me an opportunity to come back, and that I'm very thankful that he did do that.
Don't go anywhere. Audibles returns in a moment here on the Spirit Media Network.
Mississippi farmers raise over 800,000 head of cattle each year. We take care of our livestock so you get what's good for your family on your table. We are only one of thousands, but we are united as one to grow the food, fiber, and shelter you need every day. Mississippi needs farmers. The farm families of Mississippi.
At Atmos Energy, we believe affordable, reliable, and efficient natural gas is essential to achieving a low-carbon energy future. We're committed to helping protect the environment by providing smart choice solutions to help customers reduce energy use and lower their carbon footprint. Get a rebate up to $600 off qualifying high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Family owned and operated since 1986, Lakeside Molding has become the trusted source of architectural products throughout the South. They offer fine interior architectural moldings, custom millwork, and cabinet doors designed and handcrafted in Flowwood. Their showroom on Lakeland Drive is stocked with today's most sought-after interior details, including corbels, post, fireplace mantles, bath vanities, mirrors, and much more. Tim Shoemaker and his staff work closely to meet client needs for new construction, restoration, and remodeling projects. Lakeside Molding, where details make the difference.
Want to take college classes? It's not too late to register at Holmes CC. We have classes that start throughout the semester. You can sign up online or swing by one of our campuses anytime. Holmes Community College, where you could come tuition free with a 20 on your ACT. Enroll today at holmescc.edu.
2017, you hang it up for good, from coaching, administration, and athletics, all of it. So the game of football and athletics had been in your blood, a big part of your life for a long time. So how hard was it to once and for all walk away from it all in 2017?
Well, I think in 2002 when I came back, I came back in an administrative role. And so that was a big adjustment, is coming back in administration. And I made a quick adjustment. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed being an administrator. And then Coach Kroom came in, and after 3 seasons, he had lost Stan Drayton 1 year as a running back coach. He left. Shane Beamer became the running back coach. He left the next year. Freddie Kitchens comes in. Freddie Kitchens left after 1 year. So after losing 3 guys in a row, he asked me to be his running back coach in 07 and 08. And that was I really enjoyed getting back on the field and coaching. I'm very appreciative of Coach Kroom also of the opportunities that he gave me. And then Coach Mullen came in, and Coach Mullen, I moved back to administration, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed being a part of the program, and did that for until 2017, but Mississippi State's been really good to me over the years. I was appreciative of all the opportunities as a player, as a head football coach, as administrator, and then I ended up retiring in 17. But I also continued working part-time in the M Club, and it really worked out well. Just the part-time job. My wife had gotten cancer at that point. In 2013, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And so it really gave me an opportunity to be at home more with her, and particularly in 17. So I was, you know, it was kind of a blessing the way it all worked out. And she passed away in 19. So the last 2 years that she was living, that I was able to be home a lot more.
You're in both the Mississippi State Sports Hall of Fame and the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame down in Jackson. So I got to ask, which Hall of Fame surprised you more? Either one of those surprised you a little more than the other?
Well, the first one was Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And that was probably the biggest surprise. No, the first one was actually the Mississippi State Hall of Fame. My dad and mother in the late 90s came and accepted it for me because I was still coaching. I couldn't come. And then the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame was probably the biggest surprise. I didn't see that coming. And but being honored by them to be a part of their, you know, here it was a Tennessee native to leave the state and go to college. Most of the time, you know, they don't take care of you like that back home. And but all of them have been very special. Certainly, there are a lot of great athletes in Mississippi and in state of Tennessee, and to be considered and honored as one of them is another dream come true.
So what does Coach Felker do? What do you do just to relax and just kind of chill out? What is your go-to? Do you like fishing, hunting? What do you like to do?
You know, by coaching and recruiting, you know, you don't have time to hunt. Hunting season, you're always busy. You're working, and so I ended up mainly golf is what I do. You know, I get on a golf course and I feel at home. I feel relaxed. I love a pretty golf course, and whether you're riding in a cart or walking down the middle of the fairway, you know, I can chill out and just kind of enjoy the moment.
Final question for you. What would be your message to any young student, any young athlete who has aspirations to be a student athlete at the next level, whether it's the SEC, any Division I school? They have aspirations to be the next Rockey Felker, or be the next Dak Prescott, or the next Will Rogers. What would be your message to those youngsters watching?
Well, I think you got to work hard. You know, it takes a lot of work. You know, it's something that I can't tell you how many times I went in the backyard and threw the football over and over and over and had to get better at throwing the football. So I think it takes a lot of hard work. I think you got to realize that ball's not going to always bounce your way. It's not going to always bounce your way. You're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. You're going to have some wins and losses. And you got to keep on keeping on. You got to, you know, when you get knocked down, you got to get back up and try harder. And I say go for it. You know, believe in yourself. Do the best you can. I think it's important to have and I did. I grew up in a church. I had a commitment to God, and I think it. I don't know where I would be today if I didn't have a relationship, you know, with God. So I think you got to because the ball's not going to always bounce your way, and you got to realize that you know, God might be molding you. Might be trying to teach you something along the way, and that's what he did with me.
Your story is one I've been wanting to feature on our show for really when I started the show, so I'm glad that you sat down with us. Thank you for doing this, taking some time with us.
Well, thank you. Enjoyed it.
Thank you for doing this, taking some time with us.
Well, thank you. Enjoyed it. Okay.
That's a wrap.
Man, that was great.
Finally did it.
That was great. Man, that was fun.
Are we supposed to being recorded.
Real stories, real legends. The South's own storytelling show. Join us next week for another episode of Audibles with Jason Scarborough.